At K9 Nation, we do a board and train program, and I call it the Immersion program for two reasons. One, because the dog is just immersed in training throughout the day, many times late into the night. The second reason I call it Immersion is in honor of my friend and mentor, Michael Ellis, who has done so much for the dog training community and me personally. And I just thought that was a really cool way to honor my friend and mentor in that. We do the board and train immersion program, and it lasts the better part of a month. And the reason being is that we layer the approach to learning. We don't bring a dog in, or I should say I don't bring a dog in, I do all the training myself. Very particular about how the dog is trained, and so I don't outsource it. But I bring the dog in, and I don't immediately begin putting e-collars on dogs or putting pressure on the dog. We start by building a relationship through toys, through food, however the dog is motivated, however I can get the dog to trust me. And the reason we take a month to do our program is sometimes it takes the dog 7-10 days before they finally say, you know what, I trust this guy. And learning just happens so much easier, and it's without conflict when the dog has a relationship with the handler, the trainer. And so I bring the dog in, and for the first several days, the dog is learning, but it's also learning to trust me. We build upon the relationship and we layer that process, and I'm teaching the dog a communication system through signals and markers. And the whole time we're building and building, and we're layering and layering. And so now the dog is trusting me. We're layering that with communication signals, positive communication signals, negative communication signals. And then I slowly introduce stress to the dog in little increments. And I'll put it to you like this. When I have a relationship with the dog, it processes the stress so much easier. Way easier. For instance, if I wanted your dog to stay on a place bed, and I brought your dog in and I said stay, and it didn't stay, and I hammered it, or I gave it a correction, all of a sudden the dog's like, what the heck? I'm in prison, how can I escape? Not only the behavior, but from this guy. On the other hand, with the layering system that I use, if I bring your dog in, we develop a great relationship. It knows there's something in it for him, and I ask the dog to stay, and the dog doesn't stay. I say, no, come back and stay. The dog begins to say, now he's been good to me and he's always rewarding me. There must be something in it for me to stay. And so the dog stays. And all of a sudden we begin working as a team. It's not me pressuring the dog and making the dog works with me and says, I want to please you, you're being good to me, let's do this together. And so we build upon that. There are many great systems and many great trainers even in this area. The difference is I want to take time for your dog to want to work with me, and I'm not going to make your dog work with me. That's really important to me. And so we build this relationship, we layer the process, and usually by 28 days or 30 days, somewhere in that neighborhood, the dogs really have it. And not only do they have it for me, but they have it for their owners. The obedience commands are very translatable. I take time to show the handlers, the owners, exactly how to reinforce those behaviors, how to hold them accountable to those behaviors. And so the dog, it works for me, but it also works for the owner. That's a really big thing for everybody that brings their dog to me, because they want their dog to work for them just like that it will for me. So in all, I would say the training process for the dog is very educational, it's very relational, but probably most of all, it's just fun. The dogs really enjoy training around here.